You're welcome to my Father Taught Me series, Special Information Series 5, titled The Forward March Africa, Reawakening by Example. Dear brethren, 342 month of Mark, Messengers of Truth of the Most High and Christ, welcome from the valedictory messages peacefully delivered to you in retrospect of natural and emotional purview of where we're coming from, where we are, and where we are heading to in Africa. As an African, it does not appear pretty, neither does it feel good, nor sound virtuous. Hence, the title of our conversation today is titled The Forward March for Africa, Reawakening by Example. But for 342 month of Mark, Messengers of Truth of the Most High, our mandate in Christ's style is the forward march for Africa and the world, reawakening by example of the righteousness of Christ. The word reawakening by example was used in order to pay some tributes to the selfless efforts of you African heroes who were once part of the reawakening by example of sacrifice in quest for justice, equity, and freedom, in doing the needful in the spirit of truth, and thereby keeping the mind-enlightening commandments of the Most High expounded in the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 3. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Most High than sacrifice, which Christ also expressed as a priority over any culture, tradition, carnality, and of all religions, worships, etc. that are outside the commandments of the Most High. As in the book of Matthew chapter 23 verse 23, woe unto you scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. This ought ye to have done. This happened to be the type of people also described in the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 25 to 27. For circumcision verily profiteth if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made void as uncircumcised. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision dost transgress the law? And therefore we shall mention some of the apparent few Africans, irrespective of their religious affiliation, that have put up a fight with the colonialists for justice, judgment, and freedom, to the extent and liberation we have in the Africa, the left for this generation, that has made little or no progress thereafter, resulting in our lamentations of today. Whereas independence was not encouraged by the colonialists, these heroes of Africa still pushed for the freedom of Africa selflessly with their blood, which resulted into negotiations between these leaders and the colonial powers for independence, that's our freedom. Such are figures like Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, Kwame Nkrumah of Gold Coast, then now Ghana, Julius Nyerere of Tanganyika, now Tanzania, Leopold Sedar Senghor of Senegal, Felix Humphreys, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Antonio Nahor, and others. One will not fail to mention the selfless sacrifice of few selfless people, irrespective of their religious affiliation, even in recent history, like Pa Imodu, Ganifa Wahimi, etc., who fought for the truth in their own reasonable scope and ways, etc. Your brother have made the briefs above to emphasize the fact that what brought us to our knees today is now a subtle, degenerative, colonial mental slavery that has put us in another bondage by our own puppet brothers. Our brothers yielding to the lies of distractions by the serpent and his mammon, discussed exhaustively in MFTMS Volume 1, who have become consumed by sheer greed for power and money in agreement by choice with the serpent, at the exclusive penury of their fellow brothers and sisters of Africa. An act that is completely contrary to the natural justice that is also called the commandments of the Most High. That is what has put us where we are today. Having explained the above background, let us come to the issues of attention, the truth, and the forward march for Africa reawakening by example. Yes, brethren, the forward march for Africa reawakening by example shall be contextualized emotionally and summarized judgmentally against some uninformed but generally held beliefs that 1. That slavery destroyed us. 2. That religion divided us. 3. That ignorance controlled us. 4. That truth scares us. Before delving into these issues, please let us recall that we had stated that the priority of the 200 book series of My Father Taught Me series MFTMS was centered on 3 pillars: the Most High, Christ, and the universe, with a view to changing our mindset to the spirit of truth of the Most High found in the examples of the righteousness of Christ, which payoff is the retransformation of a mindset. Therefore, in dealing with the listed order of thinking mindset, which is by the way of subtle, degenerative, colonial mental slavery, we, messengers of truth of the Most High and Christ, shall start the transformation of mindset by reversing the common narratives of thinking in the listed summary below. From 1. The slavery destroyed us. 2. That religion divided us. 3. That ignorance controlled us. 4. That truth scares us. These 4 shall be reversed to 1. That truth scares us. 2. That ignorance controlled us. 3. That confusion in ignorance divided us. 4. That mental slavery of the mind destroyed us. Let us now address properly, starting with a gradual retransformation of mindset on the above issues, with a new order of approach as explained below. 1. The truth scares us, and only the truth, which is another name for the commandments of the Most High, has the power to set us free. John 8:32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Therefore, as in the above reversed context, what is the truth? What is the truth that allowed the compromise that got our generations into slavery for pieces of silver that will perish? What is the truth that made us conceive an evil to value pieces of silver or material things above the soul and the image that woman made after the likeness of the Most High, knowing that on the last day we cannot take a pin from all we acquired unrighteously with many spilt bloods of the innocent along to the beyond in eternity. What is the truth needed to transform our mindset? The truth needed for the retransformation of our mindset shall be based on the truth by example, and thereafter we can talk about the forward march for the reawakening of Africa. Dear brethren, whereas the transformation of the mindset in truth by example happened to be the focus of the special information My Father Taught Me series in the whole of the 200 book series published by Amazon were centered on truth, on the truth, which is a retransformation of the mindset in truth by example in our march for the reawakening of Africa and the world. one wish to pick the core elements of the truth for a perspective of understanding unbiased in the symbolism of truth. That is, we've numbered them. Number 1, truth. The number 2, ignorance. Number 3, confusion. And number 4, mental slavery. Let us speak on item 1, which is the truth. The components of truth are made up of the following. A, the commandments of the Most High, as demonstrated and proven in the Garden of Eden against the lie of the serpent. B, the Most High. C, Christ. D, the universe. Truth is the energy of the sanctity of the law of existence. The truth on earth is what gives life to existence on earth, while the lie on earth defiles the sanctity of life unto death. Man was created by the nature of truth, by the words of commandments from the Most High in a verifiable truth, saying in the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, and the Most High said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. That's truth, as witnessed on earth. And man was therein after given the freedom of choice between truth and lie, between substance and shadow, and also given the rewards and to face consequences of his mischoices. Man was distracted by lies, the shadow, that the serpent disguised as truth, which looked like substance to the eyes, the substance to Eve, Adam and us. It is needful to consider the above narratives in order to be able to chart a way for the retransformation of a mindset in truth, by example, and in order to make an impact in our forward march for the reawakening of Africa and the world. Hence, in view of the above, let us elaborate further on the transformation of a mindset in truth, by example. Our first step in this direction is the understanding that the armory against lie is truth, by keeping the commandments of the Most High as it was at the beginning in the Garden of Eden. If we break the hedge, which is the commandment of the Most High, the serpent shall bite us, because the hedge is the truth, and truth is the power that protects the spirit of truth in us. Truth is also called the commandments of the Most High. Lie is the power of the serpent that gives the serpent a leeway through the hedge to bite us. The serpent deceitfully engaged us by distraction to cause us to lie, and thereby guilty of breaking the hedge, the law hereinafter known as the truth. We break the hedge each time we listen to serpent's lies disguised as truth. Though the truth and lie live within us, and the soul of man was given the free will to make a spiritual choice and execute in the flesh according to the spiritual choice we make, either on the sanctity of truth as demonstrated by Christ, or the desecration of the sanctity of truth, which represent lies and evil as demonstrated by the serpent. Hear what Christ said of the things that are living within us. Mark chapter 7 verse 21 to 23. For from within out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. So lies live within us, but lies can only survive under our ignorance of not knowing who we truly are. Genesis 2, chapter 2, verse 7. This tells us who we really are as being. And the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Man is a living soul after the image of the Most High. That's who we are. Ignorance enslaved the mind into mental slavery of the two opposing parties involved in the disputes. These are lies that were conceived, organized, and propagated by the spirit of the serpent against the truth within the hearts of the two opposing parties, with the intent to weaken the truth in both parties by a weapon of confusion as a result of lies. Lies disguised as truth to both sides of the divide. Example, look at what is going on between Russia, Ukraine, and the world. How else can one explain waking up one early morning and brothers start killing each other? All strifes of the world start with the weakening of the truth in both sides of the divide by a confusion of lies disguised as truth to both sides of the parties. This was why Christ made the statement in the book of Luke chapter 23 verse 34. Then said Christ, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his raiment and cast lots. This often is the human enslavement through craft of the most subtle beast named the serpent in the field of the Garden of Eden. Genesis chapter 3 verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Most High had made, as was the case with the serpent versus Eve and Adam in the Garden of Eden. Genesis chapter 3 verse 1 continue. And he said unto the woman, Had God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the whole events of the above were summarized according to the opposite side of the divide in the book of John chapter 10 verse 10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy, representing the role of the serpent, where the other role of the divide states, I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. This is Christ, the truth, emerging in the form of light over darkness, as declared in the book of John, chapter 1, verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Dear brethren, messengers of truth of the Most High and Christ, all that have been said so far is trying to encourage us an answer to the narrative that truth scares us. That truth should scare us once we identify with the truth in the spirit of Christ. I mean that truth should not scare us once we identify with the truth in the spirit of Christ. Christ is the truth of life. The first step in the right direction is to learn how not to be scared of truth, for the truth is all we have in order to get out of the predicament Africa has found herself once more. The book of John chapter 8 verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. With truth we can fight ignorance. With truth we can fight confusion. With truth we can fight mental slavery. With truth religion cannot divide us. With truth we can fight everything that is tying the continent of Africa down as a continent of low indices of development. With truth, we shall emerge victorious in the transformation of the mindset by example of Christ and the forward march for the reawakening of Africa. We shall ultimately get wise as the serpent and yet harmless as doves. The Gideonites of Africa are coming. They are the Mototmach, messengers of truth of the Most High and Christ. Remain blessed. To be continued. My name is Steve Emmanuel Mojugbe, messenger, author, Nigerian, copyrights reserved, mftms series.com. Thank you for listening.